Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose. Good times. Good times. I wonder if they'll remember me.
Keep hauling that cargo. That's it. The barrels and the chests on the double. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh! Put your backs into it! The Lord Dread awaits! Its sails billow with Dallas's breath! Oh.
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
You do not get to make that decision! That decision is mine! A good day? Let's talk about a good day. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? We do cruel things unto others and unto ourselves because we must.
He licks his lips. Dry.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. My favorite one. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yap. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth. That is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelled on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. A would-be magister has to prove his killer instinct after all. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters. But they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? What are you? A mule, a beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I'm lead of a rat catcher. Of course. I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask, and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you. Dallas.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up? How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you. Time has come, my stitched-lipped lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Blah. 7 curses upon that ship.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for the likes of you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it.
Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damned head that hit the floor back there.
Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town?
The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong.
By the Bishop's bones, you saw it? Out with it, man. What happened? Voidwoken? That means Source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. And I've a fair idea who that might have been. Raymond, that old goat. Always suspected there's more to the Driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure, and hard workers too. Half of them are their Queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison-pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen. It may be interesting to have a word with him, find out what he's up to. But where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs. It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working on behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be in that case. Go forth and let the hunt come.
Hope you ain't looking for work in this dying town. Besides, you ain't got the look of a fisher about you, I'll tell you that much.
Not covered for the jump yourself, then. Nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients. Rapid fellowship along the margin of the
Ain't got much to say. Off with you.
As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One tremulous finger rises from voluminous robes.
If Anne Ben Mesd is our living breeze. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you, and no mistake.
From the factory that another boat went down.
One eye squints, the other bulges out even further, as if to compensate.
Oh, it's you, all right. It's definitely you.
They've got that hellacious general in charge. What do they call her? The axe?
Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mesd.
She considers your offer.
How much? So much? You have to be hiding something. And I'm sure... Now, come on. Back into a cage where you belong. Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mesd.
The Magister grabs the coin and looks around shiftily, then turns...
Get out of here. Our orders are to hold the town, so we hold the vote.
Wars are brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up, even for one of our own. Buy now and buy often.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen.
Your fish sticks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
That's all you've got to
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Yeah.
To march against the ancient empire.
Got word from the factory that another boat went down. Things ain't looking good.
Yeah. You suppose the Magisters will get rid of the Void Woken anytime soon?
Doubt it. Now they've got that hellacious general in charge. What do they call her? The axe?
The hammer. Hope you're wrong. Time will tell, I suppose.
I've got sword in west. Can't get that.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination.
We wait, we wander and wonder.
Keep your eyes peeled, will you? Ramos the Wanderer promised he'd be here.
Hey, up! If it ain't the Beastman! Can't believe you found Driftwood. How do you smell the ale over all that rotten fish? Get it?
The unfamiliar dwarf scratches his head nervously, then chuckles again. He does...
Hey, shh. Keep it low. I don't need Magisters crawling up my backside after I just emptied it out.
I'll be quiet as a mouse. You bet. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Now go on down.
I've spotted something.
Look at that. A fresh face. And a pretty little kisser it is, too. Welcome be, Governor. Take a load off and enjoy Iffin Ben Mazd, as I live and breathe. I didn't think I'd see you back in Driftwood again. No, don't tell me. If I don't know the story, I won't have to...
She reaches out to pinch your cheek and gives you an exaggerated wink.
So what's your poison, Governor? A sip or a smoke? Aye, so it is. But not just any Drudnay. Oh no. Further down's the arena, see? And the gladiators are always on the lookout for. And I give them that edge. You could say that my darling herbs flower in the flesh and blossom in the brain. So, if you're interested, Governor, all you have to do is use your imagination. How can I make you bloom? I don't think I follow you there. What are you after, exactly? I think I do, yes. All sounds mighty reprehensible to me, Governor. Why on earth would I do such a thing? You can say what you will. Right, good to see you again, Governor. Just say the word, Governor. No problem. In return for a reasonable don't.
My good sir, I see that you accompany no other than His Royal Majesty, the Red Prince.
Of course he'll be so kind. Speak freely, kinsman.
Directions, my lord. I was bid to send you to none other than Bramos the Wanderer. He was waiting for you here, my prince. But...
He looks around the hazy room with hasted eyes.
The House of Shadows stirs. The Honorable Bramos sensed them closing in. He had no choice but to flee from Driftwood. A little ways east he went, in search of safety, to an encampment of paladins.
Indeed I am. We will follow your directions. You have my thanks, kinsman.
Prince of Princes, I am humbled and grateful.
He bows deeply before the Red Prince, as reverently as one would before a god.
Down for a little scuffling and tussling? Let's see if you got some fight in you.
The House of Shadows stirs. An ominous phrase. It's as if I can feel the onset of night. Perhaps. But you must realize that until a short while ago, the very existence of the House of Shadows was a mystery to us. If this thing of darkness steps into the light, it must be desperate. You still stand by me, then, despite us being targeted by such a formidable foe? That is quite admirable, I must say. Onward, then. Let them strike when they...
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
Heavens to Bessie, another one. More queer folk than commoners in Driftwood these days. Just look at you. Strong as a bull, I hear you lot say. Makes me moo, that does. But you look as strong as my buddy and me combined. Anyway, tavern's just down the road. Can't miss it, 'cause that's where all the queer ones go. Clanking dwarves, dozy lizards. I even saw him drag a void-woken down there in the dead of night. Don't know what's going on in that tavern, but it must be a freak show in there. Oh, we dwarves had a kingdom, and we will have it back. I won't always be sweeping, I'll be riding horseback. We dwarves had a kingdom, and a proud knight was I. I won't always be sweeping, for my kingdom I'll die.
Got word from the factory that another boat went down. Things ain't looking good.
Yeah. You suppose the Madisons will get rid of the void woken anytime soon?
Calm as a coiled spring, held tight.
We'll still need potions.
My word, but you do look exhausted. I bet you could use a touch of... Have at it. Got yourself situated.
Torn beside fire, cold and poison. But Voidwoken, God knows what'd stop those beasts.
Cold steel.
Woke up this morning in a sweat. Can't get that thing out of my mind.
You made it back, safe and sound.
Yep.
Easier said than done, Ada.
Hello, mister.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister. No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. We'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. That's right.
I think he's an idiot. And when he gets back, I'm going to tell him so.
A good broad thing, aren't you? Penny for a sick dog. A glance at the dog's miserable face tells you it's sick, all right.
What am I, dog's doctor? Dog's sick. Go on, kiss a penny for a sick dog.
Well, keep steady.
Bloody for a penny, you can sing him a love song and call him Mummy. Thank ye kindly. Any chance of another one? Penny for a sick dog? Much obliged. Could I push you for one more? Penny for a sick dog? Cheers. Can I trouble you for just one more? Penny for a sick dog? You're very kind. How about another one? Penny for a sick dog?
I'm all right.
Nice. Could I prevail upon you for just one more? Penny for a sick dog? Ad infiniterium? As a spirit? How about just one more? Penny for a sick dog? Dog sick, after all. Much obliged. Could I push you for one more? Penny for a sick dog, etc. Cheers. Can I trouble you for just one more? Penny for a sick dog, and so on. You're very kind. How about another one? Penny for a sick dog? Nice. Could I prevail upon you for just one more? Penny for a sick dog? As a spirit? How about just one more? Penny for a sick dog? Dog sick, after. Much obliged. Could I push you for one more? Penny for a sick dog, etc. Cheers. Can I... You're very kind. Nice. As a much obliged. Cheers. You're very nice. As a spirit. Much obliged. Cheers. You're very nice. Quite the tale on.
A glance at the dog's miserable face tells you...
Thank ye. Much obliged. Penny for a sick...
A glance at the dog's miserable...
Thank ye, kind. Penny for a sick...
A glance at the dog's...
Thank ye kindly. Then get out of the way. Penny for a sick dog.
Woke up this morning in a sweat. Can't get that thing out of my mind.
Penny for a sick dog. Dog still sick. Oh, yeah. Another penny for a sick dog. Much obliged.
If I don't come visit you, Tom,
Nothing less
who
than the
will?
wisdom of the ancients.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Vapid fiction along the large helping of...
Much business today?
Not much. People don't want to leave town. Can't blame them. There's no safety in solitude.
Well, keep steady. People still need potions. We'll be by soon enough.
The dog lies there quietly, clearly in great pain.
What are you looking at? I'm sick here. Get lost.
It snaps at your hand.
Got a pain in the neck. Got a bad pain in the neck.
It flinches. A low, threatening growl builds within its throat. Under the collar, you find the sharpened points of metal rivets, gouging the poor dog's skin. The dog bares its teeth at you and growls. The dog gives you a long, hard stare, but does not bite you. Yet the dog goes to bite your hand, and then realizes the pain is gone.
Hey, I feel okay. Thanks. Think I'll wander off now. Here, before I go, what can I do to show my gratitude? Master did.
Made it back safe and sound. That's
Huh?
what you got.
Wait a minute. Master hurted me? Excuse me a minute. I'm gonna go now. But first, I have a thing I need to do.
He turns to his master.
You bad man, you!
Doesn't rot eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Don't come over. Not while you're buying anything.
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away.
Wouldn't you like to know?
God damn it. That was my livelihood. Penny for a grieving beggar? I reckon I'm owed it here. You wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, yes. You would do that, wouldn't you? I couldn't prevail upon you to...
He gives you a cool look, then rummages in his pocket. He hands you the contents.
That's your lot. Go on, then. Get lost.
How you holding up?
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away.
Good day to you, sir. Hope the morning finds you well fed.
Go away, dwarf. Woke up this morning in a sweat. Can't get that in eating supplies. I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never seen anything more.
You eating any of your own fish?
You kidding? I don't eat what I sell. I usually buy from Ovis over there.
Ovis? How can you afford his stuff?
I got me a sweet deal. That's all you need.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Nothing good. Void workers are everywhere.
Bishop Alexander!
Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Yes, of course.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, ton, who will?
Until later, then. Woke up this morning in a sweat.
Latest news! Fresh from the War Owl! Many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is, the Divine Order's gonna win the ancient empire, and if you remember what happened to the elves, don't ya? Ain't no one left standing when you treat 'em to death, Fog. Seven save us. Stabbed in the back he was, by them vile, low-born Kill 'em all, I say. Do 'em like Magister Raymond did old Lady Seaver. That'll teach them traitors. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the Divine is dead. Gone? Who'll save us now? Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. Didn't even give them the dignity of the sword, no sir. Had them all hung. Real slow like. You ask me, I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Begging your pardon, of course.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was...
War's a brewing, my friend, and we may find our special prices for you. War is hell, my friend, but it's very good for business. Good luck to you.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Buying or selling?
Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you let that pigeon sawdust from a cell floor.
Bishop Alexander was slain by singers!
Got word from the factory that another boat went down. Things ain't looking good.
Yeah. You suppose the Madisons will get rid of the Void Woken anytime soon?
Doubt it. Now they've got that hellacious general in charge.
Capital. Good luck to you.
Relax.
Time will tell, I suppose.
Woke up this morning in sweat.
Made it back safe. That's all you got to
Your
think.
fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town.
My career is at stake.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Startled, the guard leaps backwards and reaches for her weapon. She...
Shouldn't surprise me like that. Oh, I could have sliced your neck clean open.
I know. But everyone's on edge here. Void walking flock to these parts like...
She remains in place as...
Is there more? Speak up.
Take that, sorcerer. Dallas, get her.
You're dead, Alexander. Alexander, you're dead. You have to stay dead until we say you're not dead anymore.
Here, mister. Alexander doesn't have to stay dead, does he?
See? Told ya. But don't worry, I'll revenge your death. Take that. You won't put a sauce collar on me, Dallas. I'm a big bad evil sorcerer and I'll kill you dead.
I hate this game.
No rest until we kill the
Back, sorcerer, back.
You're dead, Alexander. You have to stay lying down.
Get her, Dallas. Get that sorcerer.
You're going on the boat, sorcerer. You can stay there with the dirty lizards and Joe's mum until you're cured. Whee!
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch. She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
What do you want? Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish, rats. Nothing you want. Unless you collect cobwebs, I guess.
The dwarf unfolds her arms and shoots to her feet.
All right, human. Right, glad Lohar ain't left us here to wither. Those brutes are taking their sweet time down there. I gotta send word soon. Who knows? Anything that gives away what Mordus has been up to. Probably got all sorts of tricks for covering his tracks, but the goon, that weird priest's been hanging around Lohar for ages. Now he's vanished. Poof. Those half-wits below will know more. Get to it then.
Hatch then.
I don't care if we tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
You can't just charge in here and ransack my business.
You've been warned, Barnes. Now get out of my sight.
You tell the Magisters.
The Magister turns, and his eyes fall on you.
You! Have you seen anyone leaving this place? Grey cloak, grey beard, a satchel of books under one arm, You can't have missed him. Lucian's teeth. Where is that runt hiding? If you see anything suspicious, anything at all, report it immediately. Do you understand?
He glares at you before stomping off, resuming his patrol.
for a good time, mate? Head downstairs in the Black Bull Tavern. Tell the lummox blocking the way that Blassin gave you a tip-off.
So much as a rat's hair out of place.
Question
You tell
still
the
the
magisters.
If
Then
I
we
bet
can get
against
them
him, I
out,
could win
and you
big.
can get back to work.
Oh, lose it all.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face and narrowed his waist. He seems to be expecting you. He offers you a large and rusted key.
You took your time. The magisters are searching the place, and Lohar needs to get his stuff out of the basement if he doesn't want to lose it. Good. And if you get caught, I know nothing about it, and this conversation never happened. Good day. You should leave.
He gives you a strange look.
It's where it always is. Lohar did send you, right?
He eyes you suspiciously.
Well then, you'll know where the hatch is. It hasn't moved.
Dwarf, have you seen a human acting suspiciously near here? Grey cloak, grey beard, satchel slung over his shoulder. Watch your tongue. I'm after a wanted man, a tinkerer, but I could still find time to haul you into a cell. Well, if you do see anything out of place, report it immediately. He'll slip up soon, and then we'll have him. That lunatic is not going to take another Magister. It'll be a pleasure to watch Magister Raymond purge him. He's wanted in connection with the disappearance of several Magisters in this town. As soon as we asked him about it, he fled. Who knows what he's done with our divine brothers? Why else would he run? If he had nothing to hide, he would have nothing to fear. Besides, he was seen with the effects of one of our company. I dread to think how he came about them. We chased him to this factory, but lost him on the docks. Now, I have a patrol to complete.
Hail to your house and hail to the Queen. Does me down good to see a stout, proud dwarf, and no mistake. You wash your mouth with soap, lad. I'd slap you straight if you weren't so damn big. Pah! Should have known better than to expect the right stuff from another Driftwood dwarf. Bunch. Easy for you to say, ain't it? I bet you could punch a Voidwalker and get it to apologise for getting in your way. But I ain't a violent man, Jack. Just pisses me off to see dwarfs sing praises of Reds. Bloody disgrace, I say. Ho ho ho, that's the spirit now we're talking. Boil 'em red as them fancy robes. The day will come we'll overthrow 'em. You mark my words. Until then, I'll practice the art of gutted fugitive. I don't think that's something I should be discussing with straight. That's baloney, and you know it. An old dwarf like me ain't so easily tricked. No, no, I shan't be baited. I ain't saying nothing on the topic no more. I said no, and I meant... What? You be needing something from me, like one of those, are you? An aristocrat? A slaver, even, from the House of War? Yeah, I think between you and me, Fancy Pants, I'll still take a slaver like yourself over the Reds any day. Glad to hear you say it. The day will come we'll overthrow 'em, you might... I had friends. Good friends. Not even dwarves, some of them. Ever heard of that place? Fort Joy? They send you there means you ain't never coming back. You've been there? Smack in the middle of the lion's den? Crikey! So you're a sorcerer then? In that case, you must know about the fugitive. That fella all those Reds are looking for. I mean, if he's a sorcerer too, you'll want to do right by him, won't you? Make sure...
The dwarf leans in and begins whispering.
This fella runs along, right? Sweating, panicking. Red's racing after him like hunting hounds. Hide in a barrel, you fool, I yelled. And what do you know? He did. Problem is, he's still in there. Been hours. Can't go nowhere, he can't, not with a...
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. His knife glides through the scale. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
Oh, aye. Forgot your lot still keep slaves. Your empire's rotten as this catch. At the
He runs his knife through another fish and flicks the blade, sending a shower of guts to the...
I'd say your guess is as good as mine, except I got the sense not to ask any questions. Now you slither on, lizard.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish, as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around his boots. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arks has the same...
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hike.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its...
Fascinating. Most fascinating. Oh, my... no, what do you want?
The dwarf brushes your hand off and shuffles back.
I do not have... I ain't got no time for talking, dwarf or not. I've got to carry on with my job.
The dwarf flushes red with indignation.
I was speaking to myself. I've never seen anything like these blighted fish before. Yes, as it happens. I need to see the effects of eating these fish, firsthand, if you understand me. Do as I ask, and you'll be amply rewarded, I guarantee you. Wonderful. Now, there's 3...
The fish instantly churns your insides. You double over in pain. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something in there with you. Something. Hungry. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased.
But I'm sure any discomfort will pass shortly. Besides, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I'm in your debt, stranger. Ah, yes, of course, but this mightn't be quite what you were expecting, but the fish you ate is known as yellow ridgeback. Quite a cunning breed, often used in concoctions to increase who is to say how such a creature might alter an alertness mixture. Seek out somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes, adding these unique... So, now my work must continue. As soon as I've...
Get them out, and you can get back to work.
The dog sniffs the wooden decking, like there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's not right. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, mister. You're not smelling what I'm smelling.
Get back to work.
Behind the containers, the fish in one of the barrels shifts slightly.
Please, you have to help me. The Magisters have gone mad. I don't know what they're talking about. I've nothing to do with the missing Magisters. I'm just a tinkerer. I wouldn't hurt an imp. And now they want to execute me. Please, you have to help me. I have to get out. I have no idea. I only arrived in town a few days ago. I sold a few items to Grandmaster Kem in Arx and stopped off here on my way to Skyseal. I was just sitting in the tavern, minding my own business, and the Magister started screaming at me. I ran and, well,
You hear a quiet sob from the fish.
Why is this happening? I didn't do anything.
There's a moment of silence from within the barrel. Some of the fish seem to shift uncomfortably.
I may have been studying some new scrolls I bought. They might have been, well, they called for sauce. But that doesn't mean I had anything to do with the disappearances. I'm a tinkerer. I'll fix things for a living. I would never hurt anyone. I just need to get out of Driftwood. I can't risk being seen. But if you can get out of town, I can escape to Arks. Please, I'll do anything. Just don't let them see me. Don't let them find me. Damn it, hurry up. I can feel the fish oozing. Don't let them find me.
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the Magisters. Then we can get them out, and you can get back to work.
Glorified jokes. He must be somewhere else.
I'm Alexander the Fisher. I'll bish you good.
Alexander, you've been bit. Lie down. Go, Alex.
That's a game. Who would do this?
You, stranger! What are you doing here? Easy now. We're not looking for trouble. We're after a man. Grey beard, grey cloak. A little crazed in the eyes. Seen him? Damien, take it all. Where is the snake? Magister Carver will have our heads. It's vital that you report anything unusual. We must know. Is that clear?
Alexander was slain by singers.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up getting sorted yourself.
Executes 24 noblemen for insubordination.
What's even the point?
An elf in tattered red robes shifts through pages of handwritten notes.
So many suspects. So many potential culprits. I need to narrow down the list. Think, you damn elf, think.
A floorboard creaks beneath your foot. The elf leaps around abruptly.
What? Why do you sneak up on me? Don't you know how dangerous that is, the way things are? Show some sense and hold your tongue. People are on edge as it is, without newcomers looking for trouble. My own Magister comrades are vanishing from right here in Driftwood. Whoever's behind it must be stopped. If you hear anything, come to me. I was removed from their ranks due to my elven blood. I'll continue to serve, though. I won't stand to see my comrades taken by some vile traitor. 3 Magisters vanished so far, all within Driftwood. My comrades believe some tinkerer named Higba is behind it all. But they're wrong, I'm certain of it. That's what I'm intent on finding out. This tavern is full of scum and degenerates. The true culprit could easily conceal themselves amongst them. I have to keep investigating, keep the pressure up. The culprit will make a mistake eventually. If you see anything suspicious, let me know. Civic pride, perhaps? The respect of those who safeguard your people? You don't know how lucky you are to be born a human. You do that. Now away with you. They were right about me. I'm just another useless elf. Might as well have rotted in the death fog. What's even the point?
Once, this was a tavern, or a hotel.
Come on.
Or
Life's
a brothel.
at stake.
Weep, my friends, for Alexander the Innocent.
Pretty good, ain't he? Bet he'd even write a poem for you if you sidled up all nice like.
You have interrupted my newest masterpiece.
The bard opens his mouth to continue his poem, but another glance at your face has him choking on his own spit.
Oh! The beast himself infests this rotting town, does he? Oh, the poems I've heard chanted of your deeds and misdeeds. Never composed a beast ballad myself, come to think of it. Tell you what, I shall craft a rhyme for you. All I ask in return is a handful of coins. Magnificent! But if I am to write a first-rate work, you must...
He stares at you for a few torturing moments.
Interesting. Most fellow dwarves prefer drinking chants to the fine art I offer. But I see it. The redness of your nose, the lilt of your gait. Drink can get the better of you, yes?
He smiles a crooked smile and runs a hand through his greasy hair.
Not that I could judge a dwarf for his drinking habits. After all, the kingdom is a shadow of its former self. Who is to blame for its collapse? Amazing, isn't it? That so many of us must beg for scraps while royalty feasts on fresh meat and grain. Condemn our queen, if you dare.
The bard hems and haws, then bellows his next words
To all lovers of verse, I bring glorious news. I have completed another modern classic. Let's raise a glass and praise the dwarven race. Who'd let nary a drop go to waste? A sip of rum, a frothy pint of ale, and then a flask of whiskey for the trail.
That divine voice, that idyllic poetry. Nothing like the other dwarves' uncouth chant.
Stripped of power.
It's the sorcerer's fault for bringing this down on us. People like that bloody Meister.
Dwarves will dominate the stage.
He fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up, the cut of your cloth. Then a smile creases his face, a smile carefully constructed to look friendly and authentic.
Greetings, my lord. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest...
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you.
I'm sorry, I mistook you for a different kind of person. My mistake. I shall return. I'm sorry, it's not about the money. Really, you insult me now. This is about fellowship, about a share.
An elf sways on her chair, her eyes focused on the counter in front of her, where she has 6 glasses in a row. With the nail, she slides one of the drinks towards you, her head bobbling heavily on her neck as she...
And that. Nothing like a glass of the good stuff to smudge everything into a pretty shape.
She slides another glass of ale toward you. Its content...
Bottoms up. Cheers to you, me, and...
Her gaze swivels around the room.
Damien's dull knife. This place is horrible. Another. Down the old ouch. Oh, reckon that was. Reckon. And another.
Golden age. Intolerant of my needs and not of
A prim woman in a starched apron wipes a glass with a clean rag. She pins you with blue, steel-sharp eyes as...
Blessings upon our Lucian, 7 times divine. Blessings before imbibing in this establishment.
Her eyes soften and crinkle as she smiles.
I see your mother raised you very well indeed. Rare for a dwarf, but all the more impressive. You and my Nez might even get along. What brings you to Driftwood, darling? Yes, that's my boy. Did you know him? Finest physician in all of Reaper's Coast. Top of his class. My, but it's been too long since I've seen him. A fine physician indeed. That's my boy. Some say all a growing child needs is food and sunshine. I say abstinence and chastity will grow him finer than either one of those.
Slobbering all over me.
Oh, but it's so good to meet a friend of Niall's. Here, have a little something. No one in our little town can appreciate work so fine as his, you know. All his instruments and books are stored away upstairs, all but forgotten. It's such a terror. Well, if he ever comes back home for a visit. Anyhow, what can I get you?
See the cook for stew, friendo.
Nah.
A prim woman in a stark...
Blessings upon our Lucian, 7 times divine.
Her eyes soft.
I see your mother raised you very well indeed. Yes, that's my book. A fine phys... Oh, but no one in our little town can... Well, anyhow, what can I get you?
Menu simple.
A prim woman in a...
Blessings upon our Lucian.
The soft lines.
I see your mother raised you very well indeed. Rare for a lizard. Yes, that's my boy. A fine physician. Oh, but no one in our little town can appreciate work so fine as his, you know. All his instruments and books. You can hang your hat on that. I'd love to show you, but I'm afraid I can't leave the bar unattended. This crowd isn't to be trusted, but I suppose, well, there's no harm, is there? Here, take this key and head on up the stairs. You'll find Niall's room there. He'd want to know his fine...
She nods an uninterested greeting.
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drinking. Eventually there'll be a fight. You planning on starting one? Well, I look forward to beating the shite out of you then.
Ah, finally! Your colleague over there is absolutely useless. I'll have a bowl of the house stew, if you please. Ah! You truly are my saviour.
He inhales deeply over the stew, savouring the scent of it, then scoops up a large chunk of meat and he pauses in anticipation, then frowns.
Rather disappointing, isn't it?
He lowers his gaze, then looks up at you expectantly.
A man of high expectations shouldn't lower them for anyone. I'd heard the stew here was exceptional, but what I tasted lacked revelation.
But these are terrible trying times for us all, aren't they? Very trying times for some of us.
His lip trembles dramatically.
It's my mentor. My dear mentor. He was killed by those void beasts. I told him we ought not to travel in the hills, but would he listen? No. Now here I sit, my closest companion gone, our precious cargo worth more than Lucian's right ring, lost to the beast-infested wild, and on top of it all, the stew was a disappointment. Ah, then perhaps my luck has changed. Yes, perhaps this awful business might soon be behind me.
Tell me, how are you with, well, Void Woken? Ah, terrific news. Then what I ask will be little more than a trifling. My mentor, Liam, and I were hauling in a goodly number of fine wares from the Southlands when we crossed paths with a great brute of a Void Woken.
It made short work of Liam, may the gods rest his soul. I managed to escape, but my precious cargo was left behind. We'd invested our entire livelihood in those wares. I'll do anything to get them back.
Very, very well, that's how. That cargo is worth more than a pretty penny, and I'll owe its retrieval to you and you alone. Now, give me your map. I'll show you just where to look. I can't tell you how thoroughly you've made my day. Good.
And then a flask of whiskey for the trail. Alas, we've seen them tumble from the tower.
I don't give a rat's ass what they say downstairs. The Magisters is all that stands.
Yet the Queen
Arguing with Mac is like giving medicine to the dead. So what are you going to do now that the White Magister's jumped ship?
Same as I've been doing. Sitting here and suffering. Him leaving's a break, but the roads ain't anything.
arrives, the cook acknowledges you with a small bow, an oddly formal gesture given...
Please, sir, you should not be back here. It's not safe. They can inflict pain all the same. Please, you should speak to Loverick if you want them.
Dominate the stage!
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing
It's
to
a
risk
shame it is.
one night with a lizard. Then you're
An absolute shame.
Oh no, can you believe it? The divine son slaughtered like a supper lamb.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Never thought I'd say this, but I hope they round up them sorcerers for good. I ain't needing one sick and a void woken on me.
You said it, Hilga. You're a true patriot.
Hilga jabbers excitedly with Brax, but the two go quiet as you
gets
approach.
it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
All right about that. Right as rain, Hilga.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilga. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilga.
Nice.
Why do you shiver, sir? This room is temperate enough, is it not?
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilga. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
Or should I check the cupboards for ogres?
And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilga.
got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
Absolutely not. The coffers, man. The coffers, they're to be guarded day and night.
kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
Of course, my lord.
You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.